The last event on the track for the Paris Olympics was the 4x400 meter relay. And on the men's side and the women's side, Team USA took care of business. The performance that the women put down could only be described as domination because they finished 4 seconds ahead of everybody else in the world. That means they had more than 25 meters on the whole field. And although the men's race went all the way down to the wire, that is incredibly misleading because their victory is still an Olympic record performance. But to be 100% honest with you, both of those races went exactly the way that I thought they would, because historically speaking, Team USA does not lose in the 4x4 on either the men's or the women's sides whenever we're racing at the Olympics. The last time the American women lost was 1992. That means it was over 30 years ago. And as far as the men are concerned, they've only lost twice from 1984 till now. And one of those races was a flat-out disqualification. The other one they got silver. People love to talk about dynasties in sports, but Team USA in the 4x4 is about as dominant as any team is ever gonna get. You don't have to like it, but hey, the facts are the facts. We have way more talent than we even know what to do with, which is why the only way we can lose is if we literally beat ourselves. So this is a breakdown of the most dominant team in sports that almost nobody ever recognizes as such. Because when you represent Team USA in the 4x4, you've only got 2 options. Either you win, or you win big, because gold is the only acceptable result. But if you're new here, I want to say thank you for even making it this far into the video. And I'm Coach Rob, the founder of SCArecruiting.com, where I rank the best track and field recruits across the entire nation. And if anything that I say actually connects with you, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe. But if I don't, just let me know in the comment section because I try to read them all. Team America put out for the Paris Olympics is a pretty good example of why that relay never loses. Shamir Little was their leadoff, the World Championship silver medalist in the 400 hurdles back in 2023. The only reason she wasn't running the Olympic hurdles this year is because America has so many fast women that she technically got beat out in that event, but she was talented enough to make the Olympic trials final in the open 400 as well as the 400 hurdles. So yes, that is a lot of talent. But she handed off the baton to Sydney McLaughlin-Lavroni. Do I even have to say much about her? She's the American champion in the 400 from the year 2023. But that's not really her event. It's the 400 hurdles, where she can now run 50.3 seconds, which is faster than most women can run a 400 without the hurdles. That is why she's the world record holder and hasn't lost in her chosen event since the year 2019. In fact, she really doesn't lose when she runs other events either, because she ran the 200 and beat the Olympic gold medalist, Gabby Thomas, in the 200 meter dash, who was the 3rd leg on that relay. And Gabby can still run the 400 fast enough to threaten to make the Olympic final in that event if she wanted to. And the anchor leg is Alexis Holmes, who technically has the shortest resume because she hasn't been pro that long since she left college. But either way, she is only the World Championship bronze medalist indoors in the 400 meter dash. Simply put, nobody else in the world has the talent to run with them. Historically speaking, the only way to beat the American women, certainly not at the Olympics, but maybe at a World Championship, you were going to have to catch them on a day where they literally beat themselves. The only time the American ladies have lost in a 4x4 were in 2005, 2015, and ironically in 2023. But 2015 is technically the only legitimate loss, because during the other 2 years, they were disqualified during the heat for a baton exchange issue. And remember, this is the 4x4, not the 4x1, so the chances of that happening are pretty slim. That means Jamaica in 2015 is the only relay squad to go toe-to-toe with the American ladies and actually cross the line ahead. And as you can imagine, that race was a classic. It went all the way down to the line with the Americans in front heading into the home straight. And that team had a young Sharika Jackson, who, in case you forgot, was an Olympic medalist in the 400 meter dash. Also running alongside 2 more World Championship medalists in that same event. So if you really want to beat the American ladies in a 4x4, you're going to need to make sure that your entire roster is filled out with world championship level medalists. Otherwise, I don't really see you having a shot in that race. In the power relay, the American women were in front, wire to wire in that race. By the time Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone was handing it off, after running just the second leg, it was clear that the entire world was now running for the silver and bronze medals only. As far as the men are concerned, they've been equally as dominant, even though they have had a few slip-ups over the past few decades. In the year 2012, they did lose in a foot race to the Bahamas, getting only the silver medal at the Olympics. But if you go all the way back to Sydney 2000, it's the next time that they lost, in a race where they beat themselves, getting disqualified, although they crossed the line in first. From that point on, you've got to go back to the 1980s to find an Olympic 4x4 where the American men did not win. For their performance in Paris, I could talk about just how talented all of their men actually are, but there's really no need to, because just how good our 4x4 is for the men will only make sense if I give you 2 points. One is that Quincy Hall and Michael Norman were in the Olympic final for the 400-meter dash, and Quincy Hall won the event, and neither of them were running on America's 4x4. But you know who was? Specifically in the prelims, Quincy Wilson, who is 16 years old right now, although he definitely earned his way onto that relay with blisteringly fast performances at the Olympic trials. In the Olympics itself, he did not run well. He only split slower than 47 seconds for his opening leg in the prelims. But America has so much talent that they were able to cover for that leg to still get themselves into the final. And once they swapped them out, it makes a whole lot of sense that they were able to walk away with the gold. And even though their race against Botswana went all the way down to the line, it really doesn't matter, because their winning time was an Olympic record. Team USA, specifically in this event, is that good. In fact, they're that great. You don't have to like it, but hey, the facts are the facts. They're a nation that can afford to leave the 2022 world champion in the 400, as well as the Olympic gold medalist in the 400 from 2024, off of their relay and still break the Olympic record. Even if you don't think that track and field is much of a team sport, the 4x400 meter relay definitely is. And we love to talk about dynasties all of the time in sports, but Team USA's 4x4 for the women and the men, that is about as good as any dynasty is going to get. And if you are a high school or college athlete who hopes to represent them in that event, be aware that the only acceptable result is to win or to win big, because that is the way it works when you're wearing the red, white, and blue. SCA track and field gear is here. Fast is a lifestyle, and what you wear should reflect that. Order yours at scarecruiting.com/shop or use the link in the description below. It's a huge support to me and this channel, so I can continue to make you more content like this. And remember, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe.